I like him. He's a great guy, and I have so much respect for him. He was one of my idols growing up. But as soon as the bell rings, like all that goes out the window. It's war. He's trying to take my money. He's trying to take food out of my mouth, and I'm trying to do the same. And so he should bring that same energy. One of my best friends is one of my coaches, and we've sparred. Jay Leon Love and I. When we're outside of the ring, we can be cool. When we are sparring, all that goes out the window. So I've been in situations like this, and I'm prepared for war.
Jake, you talk about sparring Jay Leon, who was a literal like top line, top shelf professional boxer, obviously, as you know. With that said, is Anderson your hardest opponent, your toughest challenge to date?
For sure. By far. He just beat former world champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. with ease. He's a legend in the sport. He has so much more experience than me. He has the height advantage. He has the reach advantage. And he's been in so many big moments like this one and big fights like this one. So that moment's not going to phase him. He's going to be mentally prepared. And they say, he's having an amazing training camp and sparring world champions as well. So by far, this is, going to be the toughest test. And I'm the underdog. I'm the underdog going into this. People are picking him as the favorite, betting on him. So I'm excited to prove people wrong.
Yeah, what do you say to those people who are literally putting their hard-earned money down against you on Anderson Silva?
Man, you shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have done it. You should have invested into something else. Should have invested into some stock, maybe. The market's down. Should have maybe got some Bitcoin or ETH while it was lower, because you're going to lose your money. And everyone who bet on me, good stuff, man. You're going to have some dough, maybe a new car, maybe your rent paid, because I'm knocking this guy out. I promise everyone that.
Do you have a feeling that when you imagine how it unfolds, is there a round? Is it early in the fight, late in the fight? When do you put him out?
Less than 5 rounds. Guaranteed that. Guarantee that. Come back to this interview, everyone, after the fight, and they'll say, wow, he predicted the future. I have a crystal ball in my room, and I can see it.
Can you pick the NFL games for me this weekend in that case?
Honestly, can't do that. Like, the NFL has been all over the place, man.
It's been crazy. Jake, what do you, and you just, I think you just answered the question. And I get it. Anderson Silva's 47 years old, but that guy is not normal. Like he's not a 47-year-old man. He has looked great. He absolutely flatlined Tito Ortiz. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., like you said, literally fought Canelo Alvarez. The guy was a champion, for crying out loud. What do you say to people who say, hey, Jake, you're fighting an old man?
I mean, George Foreman became the champion of the world when he was 48. The UFC flyweight champion a year ago is 43 years old. So, the guy, Anderson, never retired. He always stayed in shape. He always fought. He's had and stayed active the whole entire time, is still doing jiu-jitsu, still doing MMA, still doing boxing. And if anything, that should just show how much experience he has. When 2 years ago, I started my professional boxing career.
Jake, I'm so excited for your fight, but I got to be honest, I am like equally as excited for this Uriah Hall, Le'Veon Bell fight that you have put on the card. How the heck did you get that thing together?
Man, we came up with the idea on my show with Le'Veon was on the show, and I was like, yo, do you want to fight someone October 29th? He's like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, all right, let's make it happen. And he was like, give me anyone. I'm beating them. And so I really loved his confidence. And we got Uriah Hall, UFC, big guy in the UFC.
Yeah.
And this is, it's a really exciting fight. And Le'Veon's taking a big risk. He's one of, and so is Dr. Mike, who's also on the card. There hasn't been an influencer fighter or celebrity fighter to actually fight another professional in a professionally sanctioned bout. And both Le'Veon and Dr. Mike are doing it. I was the only one before them previously. So we just have a whole night of stacked fights.